Hey, welcome back to Leafy Life. I'm Susie, and this channel is my space to share my love of houseplants and a few other homely delights.
In this house, I am tending to leafy life, reaching green and bending toward the light. Leafy life, this is my leafy life.
So today I'm just pottering. You can probably hear in my voice I've got a sore throat. I've been really run down the last kind of week. I've just been to the tip. It's a bright, cold, beautiful morning with blue sky. It's all frosty. Yeah, really chilly. I've just got home, just making a cup of tea. I'm going to go back out to the car and get in a couple of things that I bought at the tip. I spent a grand total of £4. I got a kind of planty stool and some nice pots. I was going there because I needed to take some big bulky stuff that was kind of mangy and broken and bulky, so that's now out of the way. It's just nice to get back home and be yeah, tinkering about, and Badger just ran down the ramp really at high speed. It's just nice to be back home and in the warm. And I'm gonna bring in this plant stool and put it in place. We've been reorganising quite a few things over the last, well, especially this weekend, but just generally lately. You can see I have laundry in the hallway. I have been absolutely attacking laundry this weekend. I have not been letting any hang around. I've just done so many loads. We've done blankets and bedding and clothes of all sorts, and just keeping on top of it. And yeah, so it's been really good to get on top of that. Anyway, that's all a bit of a long rambly intro. There will be some planty stuff today. I'm totally going off piste. I've got a lot of lovely things lined up, sort of scheduled lovely things to share with you and do on these videos, but today I just felt like winging it and just ambling about and seeing what comes to mind and seeing what I feel like sharing, because sometimes you just really need to have an unplanned day, I think. Okay. I'm back out into the chilly air to the car. Here we go. Okay, grubby footwell. Stack of pots. Okay, here we are. So these have been outside at the tip, but they look fine. They just need a bit of a wash. Sorry for the dodgy camera work there. I actually have several of these pots already, well, a couple of these pots already that I found in charity shops. I just really like them. I like the ridging and the colour and the dumpy shape. This one's quite sweet. Would also be quite nice with candles in. And this one is black and shiny, and I thought, do you know, I don't have maybe any black pots, and I thought that would be quite smart and quite nice for a change. I wouldn't want all my pots to be too dark, and I do prefer white and cream and very pale grey, but yeah, the odd little black punctuation is quite nice. So yeah, that was £4 for the lot. So this table, it's quite solid. Yeah, it's actually really solid. It's quite kind of unusual because it's got like 3 legs, but it does have the circular base, but they're sort of unevenly spaced. So I wonder if it's meant to go like, I don't know, but I was actually looking for something circular and smallish, probably for this spot here, because I had to shift things around a bit. I used to have a little chest of drawers here, which went rotten, so this whole window was really mouldy and just so much condensation and probably a few plant spills, like water spillages. Anyway, I discovered it was really mouldy. I had to get rid of the actual item of furniture and take it to the tip, and yeah, it left a bit of a gap there for the plants. So as in the plants needed something else to sit on, but this was a local pickup very, very cheaply on Facebook last week. I got 2 of them, and this one is really great in this spot. I've also we've shifted around where our pets are, so the gerbils are no longer on the counter, which is really nice to have all that space back. So they are over there. And the leaf insects have come here. I've just got rid of their massive tank because they don't really use all the space. It's just the two of them in there. They don't use all of the space, and it was a really massive tank. We got it for free quite a few months ago, and I decided actually it's just too big for our house. We don't really need it, and now that we have other pets as well, we just don't want the big tank there. So I found this big glass thing in a local sort of what do they call it? It has a particular name. Anyway, it's not a charity shop. It's kind of like a junk shop kind of place. And they had this, and he was happy to sell it for £3, which I think is a bargain because it's quite a good size and it's just solid glass. It didn't come with a lid, so we had this wire mesh stuff just kicking around, so we have temporarily put that on. I was going to use some of my gardener's gauzy stuff, which I've used in terrariums, but I've tidied it away so well that I can't find it, which is something that does happen to me from time to time. I had quite a lot of it, and it was in my planty cupboard, and it was quite annoying because it kept slipping down. So I think I've like tucked it away in a bag somewhere. I really can't remember where. I've looked in lots of places and I cannot find it. Anyway, when I find it, that will go on the top because I think that'll be nicer because that's quite sharp metal. Anyway, I thought you might like to meet the Leafies. I don't know if I've mentioned them before. They are our leaf insects. Let's see where they are. So we got these as tiny little babies from eBay back at the beginning of the it was spring summertime. They are now fully grown and have done lots of sheddings of their skins, which they eat. So it's like a white papery skin which they eat. Let's see if we can spot one. I'll let you spot them first because that's fun. Can you see anybody? There we go. See the antenna there, look. There's the antenna coming down there. I'll get them out. So that's the male. Right. Right, bear with, because brambles. Hello. How you doing? Hello. Here he is. So the male is much narrower than the female, and has very long antenna. She has very short, stubby antenna. So he's feeling a little exposed right now. He'd like to go and find some leaves to hide amongst. But they're quite happy being handled. It's hard to show you with one hand. I could maybe get my tripod and that might be easier. So leaf insects, like stick insects, they're always looking for something vertical. So if you put your finger in front of them, they usually climb up it. Anything to look like a twig or a leaf, really. You can see all the veins on his back. He really is made to look just like a leaf. He's amazing. They do this kind of little sway to look like they're blowing in the wind. Yeah, you can handle them in a nice relaxed way. They're not too fast, they don't race around you, they don't bite. You don't have to feed them live prey like you do with the praying mantis. All you have to give them is some brambles. Oh, you're running away. All you have to give them is some brambles. Just cut from the corner down our lane. You can also give them ivy or privet, and I think there are other things you can give them too, but that's what we tend to go with the brambles because we know they really like them and they eat them up really well. Hello, matey. When they're babies, they're very cute. So they were about the size of a 5p when they arrived in a tiny little cardboard tube from eBay, perfectly packaged. I do have a little video that I made for my son when they arrived as a little surprise way of telling him they were here. So I'll see if I can dig that out, maybe show you a clip of how small they were because they were adorable, and they were really fun to hold because they were so little, and they were very sort of almost cartoony leaf shaped. developed a lot as they've shed their skins. I think it's 7 times. I might be wrong about that, but they've shed their skins a fair few times. I don't think they're going to do it again now. I'm pretty sure they're fully grown and fully developed. And it was only on the last shedding that they did that they suddenly looked different from one another. They'd been looking identical until then, and suddenly they were completely different shapes. And yeah, so we suddenly knew that we had a male and a female. So this is the male, and he's really, really cool. So I'm going to pop him back, and I'll get the lady out for you. So Matey's back in there. Let's see if we can find the female. She's a little bit paler green. She's much wider and bigger. There we go. There she is. She's a bit of an angle because she's kind of like under the leaves there. Just turn that around for you. There we go. She's much plumper. Her body, her undercarriage is much wider and sort of deeper. Here she is. She's just coming up my arm. As you can see, she's got much shorter antenna. Really, really stubby. Trying to give you a good view of the top of her wings, which are the leafiest bits. There we go. So her top wing casings are really smooth, really rounded, and then underneath she's a bit more fluted. And I love the fact that even their leg segments have got these leafy serrated shapes and all that veination. There we go. Having a wave. She's flailing to look for something to climb up, so their just natural instinct is to just climb up, get on something vertical. So I'll pop her back in a second, but I just wanted to give you a good look at her. There we go. She's actually really pale. She used to be more like a pea green, but it's possible she might turn yellow because some of the leaf insects, they just really vary, and you can get like really interestingly autumnal looking ones. So we'll see whether she changes. She's really easy to hold. She's so much heavier than she used to be. She used to weigh nothing, and when they were babies, they were so cute to handle. They're not my favourite thing to handle anymore, so I don't normally get them out just for me. But my son likes to handle them, and they are his pet, and he's really fascinated by them. And it's been really cool seeing them shed their skins, actually. That's a really interesting process to watch happen. So yeah, it's a lovely privilege to see these creatures up close and watch them chomping leaves and going about their day. They do have such strange faces. Hello, you're coming up this way. You think I'm a nice branch? This enclosure is new for them, and it's plenty big enough. It's as long as it's got some height that they have enough height to do their sheddings is the main thing, and they've done all of that. But yeah, they've got plenty of room to climb around in and around all the leaves and hide where they want to, and munch and munch and munch. And when they've worked their way down to not having many leaves left, we'll replace it so they've still got lots to hide in, and lots to eat. But it's great. They live on their food, so they are just really easy. Brambles are around all year round, so that's really easy. There is no cost for us involved in feeding them, and they weren't very expensive to buy in the first place. So, right then, should we get you back in? I need to go make some tea. So that is actually why I bought this little table. So I'm just going to clean it up, and put it in place in the window. I've moved some things back from the window because it was completely blocking the access out to the garden, which we're not really using. We do have a side door, but I just felt like it would be good to have the option. Sometimes I go out there to collect rainwater for the plants that need it. So yeah, just been kind of having a bit of a tidy up. Anyway, gonna make tea, gonna clean this table and clean these pots. Yeah. I've just got some nice hot soapy water in the sink, which is actually still clean and still warm from before the school run. I put a few breakfasty things in there. I like to kind of like run hot soapy water and just bung things in and then come back to it like whenever. And yeah, it wasn't mucky. It's still warm like an hour later. It's a big deep sink, and I don't use a washing up bowl anymore since I was cracked. I just got rid of it and I haven't replaced it, and it's really lovely to just not use a washing up bowl, which gets grimy underneath anyway. So anyway, my goodness, oh, you probably didn't expect to find a channel with someone getting excited about washing up water, but there we go, that's how it is. So hence I have all this nice clean hot soapy water, so I'm just going to bung these pots in there and just make them all clean, and then yeah, wash down this table because it's just a bit grimy. So this is probably just a temporary space for them, particularly in the summer. We won't be having them right in front of the doors, but for now I actually think that looks rather nice. I love this spot to enjoy a cup of tea from because it's just, yeah, the garden is a bit lifeless at the moment, and I just love the fact that this whole doorway is framed by plants and green, and it's just a really nice place to be. It's my little island of niceness. Just while my toast is toasting, I'm gonna light some candles. So I'm gonna sit and read. I am trying to prioritize a little bit of reading these days because I just tend to flurry around and not sit still long enough to read. So it's a way of forcing myself to be still and just kind of be present and just go slowly and enjoy a good story. And something about cups of tea and candlelight, even in the daytime, just makes that more possible and more enjoyable, and it makes me really soak up that experience. So I've just got some tea lights here, and I've got this lovely jar. This was a jar that I used to put jam in. I've just done a massive fridge clear out this weekend. It was so horrendously overdue, I cannot even say, because it's just too awful. Yeah, it was bad. But I've done it now. It was quite the job, but it's done now, and now it's sparkling, it's decluttered, it's so clean all over. It's just lovely, and yeah, it's less full. We're going to be keeping it less full, which includes not having so many jars of things not having so many jars of things in the top of the fridge, because it kind of stops the fridge acting how it's meant to with the defrosty stuff when it ices up. It does its own like de-icing process without us needing to do it, but it doesn't work if everything's crammed together too closely. So I went through all of our jars and emptied out things that we just don't eat and we're not going to eat, or that were getting a bit grimy. So yeah, it's just a smaller collection of things in the fridge. And these jars, I've had them for a while. I've made marmalade and jam in them before, but they'd kind of got like the ring around them had got rusty. They had a metal ring with a separate hingy lid. And that got really rusty, and I thought, actually, I don't want to be putting food in there anymore. The inside of the lid had got a bit yucky over time. It just deteriorates as well. So I just bunged out all the rubber seals, and my husband got the metal off for me. It was like quite hard to remove, but it's gone now. And so I have this lovely jar with lid, so it is rather nice for candles. So yeah, just put some tea lights in there. And I just love glass for candles because obviously it's reflective and transparent and lovely. So I'm just going to do that. I have a treat today. I have a brand new candle that I've been saving for a random Monday to crack open. So this is made by Green Essence. They're based in Somerset, and I've bought these candles before in a gift shop. This one was from Lantic Gallery in Tiverton, and it is sea salt flavour scent, not flavour, scent. Yeah, I've had the Christmas spice one before, which is gorgeous. It's really, really lovely. It really scents the whole house. When I'm burning it, I can smell it around the whole house, which is lovely. This one is a more kind of like fresh, non-festive one, which I thought would be really nice to try today, especially because I've been doing loads of laundry and it's a really beautiful day. It's a really beautiful day. The sun is out and there is blue sky and little white soft scudding clouds around, and it's like spring. I know we're about to have another cold snap, but I can't help it. It's just really like a really, really fresh day today, and so it's the perfect day to celebrate with this beautiful, beautiful treat of a candle. So I'm gonna get into this and light this. Oh, it's just so nice to take time to be still for a minute. I've got my soy candle there, the sea salt one, and I just love having candles lit even in the daytime in the winter. It's just, even though it's a bright day, it's still really, really lovely. So have another cup of tea. I'm kind of making tea in pairs at the moment. And have my lovely book, which I've probably shared with you already, but yeah, Foxlight by Katja Barlin. I loved a previous book by her called October. It's very special, very gorgeous cover done by Angela Harding. Really, really gorgeous. It is on my shelf as one of those treasured books that I will always have. And yeah, so when I saw this one, I just jumped at that. I got that from the library, so that was a real treat to find that. Yeah, I'm just sitting eating some marmalade toast and drinking tea, and I'm just enjoying my surroundings. I don't do this enough. I am somebody who can't relax when there's mess. So sometimes I sit down and I look around and I go, oh, that needs to go back where it belongs, whether it's toys or clothes, or shove something in the laundry, or oh, let's just take that to the kitchen, or let's wipe that. And I get very, very distracted by my surroundings. So it feels quite rare to get to a point where things are sort of tidy and clean and I can just go, Now let's enjoy the space I've just looked after instead of just rushing through it. Let's just be in it in this tidy form while I'm here on my own for a bit, and I can just enjoy it. I'm really loving this part of the house that I've kind of I've been accumulating plants here, and just you've probably heard me say a lot of times, just tinkering around with them and reorganizing them, and not just for the sake of it, but just little tweaks and improvements along the way, really, whether it's clearing out a plant that isn't working there, or just moving things around a bit, or adding this stool table thing in today, which I'm really pleased with. I like it more and more now that it's in situ, now that it's clean and it's here and it's actually in use. I really like it with the leafies living on top. And I can move it around, I can put it in other corners, I can swap it around for other plants. That's the great thing about like these little IKEA tables and things like that. They're just really versatile. They can be in corners of different rooms at different times, and they're just really fun to play around with. And I've just been collecting a few locally, cheaply secondhand from Facebook, and it's really great to see what's on there. Things people are wanting to clear space, get a bit of money for their things, and it's a really affordable way to get furniture or odds and ends that you need. So I do recommend looking on Facebook, and I guess it depends on the area and how many people you've got living around you. But we're in between a few little towns here, and most of the things I've been collecting are in my small local town, so that's really good. But yeah, sometimes I've driven a bit further afield, but nothing super far. But yeah, it's just it's really nice to have created spaces that I enjoy looking at, that my plants can benefit from different heights, and being nearer windows and not just being on the floor, which to me feels quite cluttery, although there are some just down there. I can't point with my thumb backwards. That's really hard to do. I can't. How can oh, that is so hard to do. There we go. Yeah, I have got some on the floor, but they're kind of in a shielded kind of like position where they're not going to get kicked, or they don't. Yeah, they're kind of like under things. But I'm just really enjoying this space. I'm really enjoying the light today. It's just wonderful. I'm sorry that my voice is all crabby. I've been having a cold breakout, and today it's really gone into my throat. But yeah, there's something about having a blue sky day in January that's just, it is so fresh and lovely. Part of me thinks, should I just drive off to the beach? I don't think I've got the energy. It's a lovely, lovely thought. Maybe I'll do that on a day soon. I'll just go. The best thing to do would be to go like straight after the school run, because it's coming up to 11 o'clock now, and it wouldn't be the best use of my time today, although it's really tempting. But I'm gonna enjoy the sea salt candle instead, and enjoy my own surroundings here. But yeah, let's do going to the beach soon, just to be there and just watch the waves, and maybe see if I can find some nice driftwood or little pebbles. I do love collecting pebbles and shells. But really it's just being in that space and just not really doing anything but looking is a real luxury for me. Anyway, I'm going to drink my tea, read my book, and eat my toast, and I'll catch up with you in a little while. Hello, I've just finished my book and eaten a lot of chocolate, drunk more tea, and I've decided I'm going to do some potting up of some little propagations that have been rooting happily in water for a long time in my kitchen window, and I've been admiring them there for a while, but they really do need to get into some soil. So I have quite a few things here which have been propagating on the windowsill for a while, and have got some good sturdy roots there, and really they've been ready to go into soil for a while. So I'm going to get on with that. I'm going to have a look at which things are a priority there and do those first. I'm just going to take it gently, maybe do one or two at a time and see how I'm feeling, because I'm not feeling very well, so I'm just pacing out my energy today. I'm just going to clear this draining board. I think it is going to be a case of one job leads to another, because once these are potted up, I'm aware they're going to take up a lot more space, and they won't necessarily fit back on these little narrow racks. And I don't want to feel really cluttered up by them, and I'm not decided yet whether they are plants that I'm going to be keeping to grow on myself or whether I'm going to be just giving them away or saving them for a plant swap. So until I know for sure, I need a sort of a landing space for them, and I'm just gonna see whether I can create a sort of temporary plant space in my utility room. It's more of a utility nook. I'm just going to show you and talk you through it. So here we go. This is my kind of space, which I've recently set up. It's gone through a few different ways of being, but I did just get this little trolley a little while ago and organised that. It is looking a bit messy. In fact, this doesn't even live here. I just parked it there last night in the middle of some other clearing up. That can go somewhere else. But yeah, I've recently invested in some sphagnum moss, a better, bigger watering can so I can find somewhere for that little one to live. Got a few pots floating around, and that space up there for pots has now filled up. So I'm gonna decide what I'm gonna do with current pots that are not needing to be used right now. There's one here which I smashed, that fell over last night and smashed on the floor just when I was about to go to bed. I had to sweep up a load of soil. So there we go. But yeah, this is a little contraption that I put here the other day. So, oh, perfect time to show you the calamondin pips, which are germinating. I did post this on Instagram a day or so ago. But yeah, it's really nice to show you with the bright sun on them. So not all of them have come up yet, but quite a few of them. I'd say about half. You can see them all starting to rise above the soil. This one is an interesting one. It looks like two together. Quite interesting. I think pretty much all the pots have got 2 pips in, just as an insurance, because I really didn't know how well they were going to germinate, especially being winter, but they obviously are doing really well. So there's a tray of them there. They're just on a baking tray, and another little baking tray here. In fact, it looks like several have popped up since yesterday. But yeah, this is a like a 3-tier plate rack shelfy thing for, you know, for kitchen cabinets to divide up your crockery and whatnot. It was reduced from £12 to £4 the other day in a DIY store, and I thought it would be really handy at home for crockery, and then it didn't actually properly fit, and I realised that it was a really good divider for these little trays currently, and also has space on top for these, which are going to a friend shortly. And yeah, it's just been making me sort of weigh up what I do about sort of transitional plants that are not going to be living here. So I don't have room for them like around the rest of the house, and I'm not going to be keeping them, but they're not with the new owner yet. So I'm wondering if I could repurpose maybe the top shelf of this little unit, this little trolley, and that could be a sort of little plant station, a little plant home, because this area is very bright. It's right by the back door. It's always got daylight of some sort, but quite often quite bright sunlight. So I think that's why these seedlings are doing really well. They're happy here. So I'm going to have a little jiggle. I'm going to take some things off this and yeah, put some stuff there. So these things could even go there too, but they're actually fine there for now. But first things first, let's clear the what do you call it? Draining board.
I can't forget the day we met. Your eyes so blue, me piercing through. I can't forget the day we met. Your smile so bright, it made me swoon. Our love is like a summer's day, hot and endless in a magic way. Whenever I see you, all I can think is my summer love. Been waiting for you, my love.
Very silhouetted. Okay. I just wanted to take this down and have a look. This is a little terrarium I built well, a few months ago actually, just inside this little decoration. It's sitting inside a little bit of foil inside the lid, so that it can screw on and off. So yeah, it's got quite tall. Oh my gosh, actually I've just noticed how much this peperomia has grown. It was tiny when I put it in there, and I don't think I've been paying it enough attention. It doesn't need any help, clearly. I haven't done anything to it for ages. This is so rewarding because I've been struggling with peperomia lately. I've lost quite a few little tiny baby peperomias, which has been very sad. You can't see this properly, can you? There we go. Yeah, I've lost a lot of peperomia lately. I used to be a bit of an overwaterer, and now I'm a slightly more of an underwaterer, particularly with plants that are in little pots, and that are in well-draining soil. So I think in order to help my peperomia survive, I need to maybe change my potting mix for them and just allow a bit more moisture retention in the soil, so that if they're in a smaller pot, they are going to cope with drying out. And yeah, so this, I believe, was the little one that I had in from the plant swap, which was so tiny and so cute, and I popped it in here, and it's just really taking off. It's doing so well. It looks really healthy. This makes me feel like I should be growing more peperomia in under glass, because this is just so good. I haven't had to do anything with it, but it's looking beautiful, whereas several other little peperomia have just gone. They have gone past the point of no return in terms of being just too dry and lost all their leaves and no roots left. So yeah, so anyway, I'm gonna hang this back up. I'm really pleased it's doing so well. Okay, so what else do we have up here? So we have the Ficus alii from two different plants actually. So they're all really well rooted now, and I think I might just pop them all together. I could pot them up as individual ones and make more plants that way, or I could make one fuller, nicer plant, which might be a nice thing to do. Because it's quite a shrubby ficus, I think it would be better and fuller if it was all together. So I think we're going to pot these up today. Yeah, so that's one thing. What else? I have some Tradescantia here, a couple of different Tradescantias. I'm not going to be keeping those, and I could pot them up to give away. This one isn't doing a lot. Let's take it down and have a closer look. I thought it was starting to show signs of rooting, but I don't think it is. Oh, we have a root. Oh my gosh, there's a root. That white bit really is a root. That has taken months. I pruned this off the mother plant because it was really tall and leggy, and I thought it would be fun to try and propagate, and hooray, it's working. So I'll probably, I don't really want to lose this because I love this plant. It's so pretty. Let's just zoom back out for you. It's such a beautiful plant. I do really love it, and I would like to bush it out a bit more. So yeah, once this has got going a bit more, I will plant it up. I don't want to do that yet. I want to make sure it's really happy and really well established with its roots before I plant it back into the mother plant pot. But hooray for progress. I have some ivy and some holly here which are all rooted, so they could be potted up. Oh, I have a tiny little ivy here. This is so cute. This is one that came off one of the plants in my hallway, and it's so dainty, so cute. Oh no, has it got aphids? I think so. I feel like this window keeps getting aphids. Various things on here keep getting aphids, which is really annoying. A bit of wash off. all back and lovely. Isn't that just so cute? I love this ivy. I think the shape of it is really interesting and unusual, and the colourings are lovely. It's kind of like, it's quite pastel-y and milky and just really beautiful, not so dark as a lot of ivies. I love the fact that it's paler. It's got a kind of lovely sagey yellowy green about it. It's really pretty. So I popped this in here a while ago, actually, months ago probably, yeah, a tiny little cutting. I think at the time I was thinking about putting one into a terrarium, but yeah, I also just wanted to watch it root because it's fun with various plants to experiment and, you know, see how long they root and see how they behave with it. So as you can see, it has some really nice roots now, nice and long. A little bit tangled up. So yeah, I mean, I could totally plant that up, but I might just watch it for a bit longer in the window because it'd be nice to see that root get some side roots off that. So I'm going to put that back up there because I enjoy having it there to look at. And let's get down this peperomia to have a look at. Here we are. So this is Peperomia angulata or quadrangularis, also known as the beetle peperomia. This is a cutting that, so I bought a plant of this from Hutch House Plants a couple of months ago and it's doing fine, but I did knock off a stem. So I just trimmed it and popped it into water, and yeah, it's rooted really nicely. It's got a really nice thick clump of roots now. So I'm going to pop that into a pot today. It's looking really lovely. It stayed really healthy. Yeah, so I could take more cuttings from the same plant and make another plant, but I don't really want to because it's hanging very nicely in the lounge and is a full plant in its own right. So this was just kind of a little extra because it happened to come off in transit, and yeah, it can make someone else a nice plant at some point. So I'll leave that there actually because that's a definite for today, and I'll get down the ficus because I know I'm gonna put those up. Okay, so we have these guys so far. Let's see if there's anything else I want to put right now. These are some little tubs which my parents gave me. I can't remember what they said was in them. I've now forgotten. Oh no, they're not the ones my parents gave me. These are the ones that I bought full of chocolate bears from Lidl at Christmas, and they've turned into really good little pots. I'm propagating some wet sticks of the, what's its name? It's the Monstera. I'll put the name in and a photo of my mother plant. I decided to take a load of cuttings because the plant had got really leggy. I don't think it's in the best place, or it doesn't have quite the right, I don't know, it's something about it isn't quite happy because it's only giving very small leaves and sending out really long vines. So it probably needs a proper moss pole rather than just a little stick, but we'll see. But for now I've just taken off all this length and popped them in pots. This was the one leaf that was at the end of this long vine, so yeah, we'll see if that gets some roots. So I've got 3 of those currently in there. They've only been there a short while, so I'm not expecting to see any signs of anything yet, but that's what those are. So yeah, it's quite a good place for them. What have I got over here? I think I'm going to let this go because it's driving me a bit potty. I have decided that succulents just aren't something that can grow with me. They just don't seem to be able to. These are some... having said that, I think these are actually growing and they've got roots coming. So I'm going to give this away because I don't want it to deteriorate in my house because I'm terrible with succulents. I just don't seem to be able to grow them at all or keep them happy or alive for very long. So this one can go to a friend who likes succulents because they're not going to stay happy with me. I think I'll get rid of those leaves. Oh, is that one rooted? I think that one's rooted. That's an old one there. Okay, so I'll put that to one side to give away. Let's have a little check on this peperomia. It's not looking too good actually. Has it been forgotten? Has it gone rotten? Okay, I just thought I would just investigate. These were some leaf cuttings that I did of my Peperomia Rana Verde a while ago, which I do every now and then because it's a really, really nice Peperomia to propagate. But this one has been riddled with aphids, so I'm just going to put it in the bin because I don't think there's anything, I don't think they can come back from this. The roots are, the stems rather, I don't think are going to root now, so that's just going to go. Really good to have a bit of a clear out. It's actually quite nice to make some space on the kitchen windowsill here, because when it gets really full I do end up feeling a little bit cluttered, and I would prefer to not feel like it's overflowing. So yeah, it's just good to kind of work through and see what needs attention and what can go, what can move on. Okay, let's see what else we've got here. Got a little wood hyacinth, which is fine there. There's a little eyelash fern there, which I don't think is going to recover. I don't seem to be able to keep eyelash ferns happy. I don't know if you guys have any experiences with them, but they seem to be very unhappy with me. And yeah, I think that it should have gone straight into a terrarium as soon as I got it home, and it didn't, and it's never recovered. So yeah, maybe I could just see if there's anything living in amongst it, and put it straight into a terrarium, maybe just a little jar of its own, but it might be too late for that. There were some signs of life here the other day, but I really don't think so. I'm going to give it a drink and I'll check on it in a day or so, and if there's any signs of life it can go into a terrarium and see if it will thrive there. I don't think it's very likely. I have a little bit of my chestnut vine here and a bit here, but they're potted up already. Let's check on these little peperomia leaves. In case you're wondering, I do not go to Harrods and I do not eat Stilton cheese, but this was in a charity shop and I quite liked it. Let's have a little delve under here. These ones looking a bit more promising, but they do look thirsty. No, that one's not taken. That one feels like it's clinging into the soil. That one hasn't. That's okay. I'll give this one a water and we'll see if it eventually throws up some little baby new leaves and makes a new plant. I mean, you only really need one to take for it to be a new plant. So yay. So that does actually feel like it's really strongly in the soil, so I'm pretty sure it's rooted. It just hasn't thrown up any baby leaves yet, but the leaf itself feels thick and plumpous, so I've just given it a drink and that can go back over there. There's a couple of things here, Photonia and yeah, a few snippets of little things which I'd probably end up in a terrarium soon. Have a little Dieffenbachia there. So I think, what was I going to grab? Oh yeah, to show you. Little parrot plant cutting. So this is really well rooted. It's a really funny shape. It's very curved. But yeah, look at all those roots. That is really, really good. I'll just show you through there. Loads of roots. So that's definitely ready to put up and become a new parrot plant. So that's so cool. I know that that some of you are really interested in seeing more about parrot plants, and I have promised one of you a video about these for a while, and it's just about when I do that. So I'm going to put this to one side. I'm not going to put it up today, even though it's ready for it. I won't leave it for long, but I'm just going to focus on the peperomia and the ficus and get those potted up, and then I'll do you a proper video about the parrot plant soon, because I've got more to tell you about that. Okay, so now that I've pulled off what I know I'm going to be dealing with today, I've got some gaps, so I'm going to have a little shuffle around to just arrange that how I would like it now. And while I'm doing that, I'll take the chance to give things a little drink, give things a top up or a change of water where they need it. I have been doing that a little bit as I go along and showing you anyway, and just give the windowsill a wipe and just have a little spring clean, which will make it feel really nice. So yeah, nice little reset for a minute. I just wanted to show you this Radamakara cutting. I kind of forgot it was there for a while. I've got so used to it being there, but that was just sitting by the tap there, and I didn't show it to you, and I didn't consider it for a putting up today. But now that I've noticed it again, it definitely should go into a pot today with some soil, because look at those roots, so many of them. So yeah, that would be great to get it into soil. I'm just giving it a wash off first because it's been there getting a bit dusty, so I'm just going to wash the leaves off. There we go, all tidied up. So I've just spaced things out a lot more. Everything's had fresh water, had a top up, had a drink, had a clean. It feels really good to have things a bit more spaced out actually, because I keep getting a lot of condensation and mould along the back of the window, so it's just nice to have a bit more space, a bit more breathability, light and air getting to that, and make it a bit easier to clean. So yeah, everything's feeling more spacious. I've just kind of rejigged the order of things a bit, which feels really nice. And over here, where the Radamakara was, I've now put this little peperonia. This is a little cutting which is doing really well. It's already in soil and it's just happily growing there. And then these are more of the calamondin pips. You can see one, oh no, that one's a peperomia. That one's a recovering peperomia. But you can see the calamondin pip there just coming up. So I'm just going to give those a little drink, which I forgot just now. But that's basically everything for that section right now. And once those have had a little drink, I can move on to putting up at last. So they're just over here. This is everything we're going to put up today. Not that one. That one's for giving away because it's silly in my house. But yeah, so there we go. A little selection, fairly true to my taste actually. Some ficus, some peperomia, and a Radamakara. So, yay! Doesn't matter which order I do things in terms of putting up or clearing that trolley space. I think my brain really wants to clear the trolley space first actually. So I think I will do that next because I do like tidying. And it is very satisfying to have the space ready for them, and then I can move them straight in there, yeah, when that's done. So there we go. I've had a bite of lunch and now I'm feeling invigorated for tidying. So I've just come and opened up the cupboard and had a look down here, and I think what I'm going to do is to take the little bottles and tiny pots from here and put them up into the cupboard there. So that should free up some space. And then the little nursery pots, I'm going to see if I can fit them down at the bottom, maybe find a different place to put the macrame string, or it could hook over actually. It's on a kind of hooky pot, so that could just go over the end for now. So that's going to free up a lot more space. So then this can be where the newly planted propagations are going to go until they are rehomed. So going to get on with that. Alright, so I've just started rationalising everything. I've got a lot of these nursery pots and some of them are different sizes, so I've just been stacking them together in the same sizes so that they are tidy, which sounds obvious, but just from day-to-day use I find they do end up a bit higgledy-piggledy. So that's been needing to be done anyway. I've just been stacking some little pots, like small covered pots up on the side, because I'm going to try and get those up into the cupboard. So yeah, just going to move some of these, well, all of these glass bottles up into the cupboard as well. And I've got a few of these cork lidded bottles. Some of them I'm still saving to use maybe as terrariums every now and then. I think it would be a great place to grow a little peperomia. Like I was saying earlier about the ones that I hadn't been doing too well with. I think we'll do better in here. Sorry about all the sniffing and spluttering. But yeah, so some of them don't have their corks because I've been using them for propagations over there, and so the corks are floating around, so I'm just instead of them being really annoying in amongst all this, I'm just going to bung them all in this pot, which is where I keep all of my milk bottle lids and other plasticky lids and plastic pots and things like that I use purely for bulking out or bringing up the level of nursery pots within cover pots. Sometimes there's just a disparity of height and I want to even it out, so they're basically like little props, with not props as in propagations, they are actual props to prop up pots within pots. I'm not explaining myself very well, but I think you know what I mean. I've explained it before, but I just keep a lot of those hanging around and they're in this tub. So that's all tidy. I think I'll keep these little cups and pots down here on the trolley because it's really handy to just come straight to the trolley when I just want to take a cutting or something's broken off or whatever, and I just want to grab a tiny little pot like these and, you know, put them straight on the kitchen windowsill in water. So I'm going to leave those here. Okay. So that leaves a load of space on the trolley, which you can now see. Obviously, actually, I don't want these to stay on the top. They're going to go under. So I think they'll probably go at the bottom. I think it'd be easiest. I've got a bag of orchid plants at the bottom, but that will fit in there with them. So I'm just going to transfer them all down. While I'm at it, I might as well grab the pots that I think I'm going to use for the propagations today that are going into soil. So the peperomia is very little. It's just one single little stem. So I think probably something like that would be great. I could go for something even smaller, but I think just the extra little bit of space there will be good, because I don't want to dry out completely. Right, these can go down there too. Yay, I've just found something I didn't know was here. Oh, yeah, I've just found the plant hooks, so that's really good. I had forgotten that's where I had decided to keep them. It's a very logical place to keep them, but I probably wouldn't have gone looking there straight away, and I do need to get some more hooks up, so I'm going to keep those out, and that can be something that I do soon. I say it probably won't be me. My husband's taller than me and he manages to get up to the ceiling to do the hooks a little bit easier than I can, which is very kind of him. Right, I've got some more pots here. Ugh. Okay, going to give this a quick hoover because that's nice. Right, back to choosing pots for the propagations today. So we've got the peperomia one. I think I need a slightly bigger one for the ficus and the rhodamacra. Not too big. It could be fun to use these orchid pots, and then I'll be able to see their roots when they're coming towards the edges more. So I'm going to do that, and it's slightly bit deeper as well. Okay, so that's cool. So the bottom is all, I'm just going to see if I can show you a bit better. So the bottom's all sorted with the pots and bark, and then this is just all the lids and corks and little random pots. Yeah, so that's all cool. So the top is all clear and clean, ready for the propagations. So now I just need to get all these glass bottles and tiny pots up into the cupboard. So I'm gonna see if they'll, woo! I'm just sliding off the back of the bin there, just see if they'll all fit. So I'm just going to wheel this back in that gap for now. There we go. So I need to get into that bit anyway and do some mixing up of some compost. I need to grab some perlite. I've just got a new sack of perlite and some unopened houseplant compost. So I'm going to mix that up, ready for putting up. And you'll probably be thinking, is she ever going to pot up these things? I am, but I've looked at the time and I have to dash and do the school run. And then it will be dinner, and then it will be the swimming pool. So I think I'll have to come back to it tonight. Oh, hello again. I'm finally back to these propagations. So finally able to crack on with them again. I'm going to go with the smallest first, which is the little peperomia. This is the quadrangularis, or no, is that right? Suddenly sounds wrong. Yeah, quadrangular, now I can't say it, quadrangularis angulata. So, there we go, we saw this earlier. It's really beautiful, really nice little clump of roots right at the end of the stem there. So I'm just going to start by popping a little bit of my mix in the bottom. So this is houseplant compost and some perlite. I'm not adding anything else at the moment. I've had some bad experiences with peperomia lately, and I don't think they liked the mix I had them in. I think it was just too well draining. I think I was just going overboard with trying to not let them sit in moisture, and as a result they were just getting far too thirsty far too often in small pots that were drying out really quickly. So I don't want that to happen again. So I'm just going to give them a little bit of perlite and just keep an eye on them. But this should mean that they're not going to dry out every single day. So I'm just filling this in. I'll give it a drink in a minute. And when these are all potted up, as you know, they're going to go on that top shelf of the little trolley over in my utility corner, which is going to be really great, because actually even down under the counter they should still get plenty of light, especially considering it's a temporary place for them. So they shouldn't be living there for too long, hopefully in most cases just a few weeks generally. Okay, that looks pretty good. It actually says peperomia rosso on this. That's actually, I believe, the little one that I took and put in the little hanging jar that you saw in the window earlier. But yeah, so there we go. So there's that one all done. I'll give that a drink shortly. Next I'm going to do the Radamacra. So you can see it has a lot of lovely roots. I'm actually going to trim off the side shoots because they're so long. It's got a nice middle shoot here, and then it's got one coming through that kind of Y shape, that kind of, can you see that? Yeah, so there's a little new bit here, and there are also new bits. I'm just going to show you a bit closer. There are new little bits there and there, so I'm just going to trim these off, these big outer branches here and here. I just don't think it's going to need it. It's got new growth coming through, and I just think it's going to make it topple forwards quite a lot because it's very long. So yeah, getting those off will just be good. Basically. So I'm going to pop it in this little pot, fill it in. Actually, those are really long roots, so I might just take a bit out of there. There we go. And I just dangle it down in there, and I give it a little twist as it goes, so it just kind of gets it to go nicely, neatly around in there. And then just backfill. So Radamacras like to be, they're quite thirsty, they don't like to dry out too much. So I just keep mine damp basically, and that seems to keep them happy. The only times I've ever had any issues with Radamacra are when I have forgotten about them and neglected to water them when their soil is getting a little bit too dry. So as long as I keep on top of that, it's fine. They don't have to be in bright sun, but they do seem to grow a lot quicker when they're in quite bright sun. and mine have definitely slowed down with their growth over the winter. They kept going well into the autumn, but I'd say their new growth has definitely now slowed down a little bit. Still happening, but it's just not as fast and as rapid as it was. So I'm just going to pull that up a little bit. By the way, the reason I'm wearing a glove is that I have very, very dry skin and eczema, and when I handle a lot of soil regularly, it just really, really gets a lot worse. So as I'm right-handed, I tend to at least protect that one hand while I'm doing anything soil related. There we go. That's a nice little plant. So yeah, I expect that will go wending its way to somebody at some point. Well, that's done with. Put all that old water out of the way. Okay, now the ficus, they are both, I thought they were both exactly the same thing, but they do seem a little different, and it might just be that they're different ages of mother plant, but I'm going to keep them separate, so I will be making two different end plants. So this one is two different cuttings, or two cuttings. This one is also two different stem cuttings. So yeah, I did think it'd be nice to make a fuller plant and put them all together, but just in case they are a slightly different variety or have been dealt with in a different way, I'm going to keep them separate and create two plants. So yeah, I have these orchid pots. I'm going to try putting them in there this time. I think that might be quite fun because they're clear, and it'll be nice to keep a track of what's going on with the roots, and just see when, it'll be easier to see when they need repotting basically. So I'm going to go with this one first. You can see the nice long roots there. So yeah, they're looking really good. So I think I've mentioned it before that with ficus, just be very careful when you're handling them. If you do sort of accidentally rip a leaf off or anything like that, where it comes from, there will most likely be some white milky sap, and that's very toxic. So don't get it on yourself. If you do get it on yourself, just wash it straight off, but particularly don't risk getting it near your eyes. It can cause blindness, which we don't want. So yeah, so just take care with that. I'm just coiling that in again. So they're in this pot. So a few of these plants, I've got people in mind that I know will like them, but a couple of them I'm just going to keep and look after them for a little while until maybe there's a plant swap going on. I don't know of any locally, but I really love the one in Bristol. I don't know what the plans are for that, you know, what the other venues will be, but yeah, I'll keep a lookout. I'm not going to go rushing into a lot of plant swap commitments at the moment because life is busy and I'm just trying to manage my energy and my time, but it's nice to have things that are waiting around. Well, not too many. I do find it a bit overwhelming if I've got lots of plants that are just sitting around that aren't going to be staying here, but it can be nice to have one or two sort of just waiting to give to someone. So yeah, got a couple of planty friends that I'm meeting up with in the coming months, so that'll be nice to give these to fresh homes, and well, maybe not these, but some of the things that have been sitting ready for a home. That one's done now. That looks really lovely. Lovely little ficus. I really do love these. I just think they're really, really beautiful shape. And yeah, they haven't really caused me any problems. Don't drink that. I have got some water here. I have a rather sore throat, so this is actual drinking water. I used to find, when I used to do watercolours, I find it very easy to dip my brush either in my tea or my drinking water, or go to drink some water and find that it was the coloured one. I'm sure I'm not the only one. Okay, this one is much more woody. There you come. These really have been sitting around for quite a while, and I don't need to separate them. They're two separate stems, but they've been sitting in that little glass jar for a while, and their roots have all fused together, so I'm just going to let them stay as they are really, and just get them nicely bedded into some lovely compost. It's very, very overdue. I've been wanting to put up some of these things for a while over Christmas, but there was just so many other things to be doing that they've just been having to wait for a bit longer. They're fine, no signs of them being unhappy, but yeah, once you start seeing all that lovely rootage, it's nice to get it all settled into a nice pot. There you go. Just want that to be a bit more upright, so I'm just going to put a bit more in the middle there. That feels good. Lovely. There we go. That's really pleasing. So, got some nice soil mix left over, so I'll cover that up and put that. Actually, I might just see if it will fit in this box. So this is just, it's plain houseplant soil. Just going to see if we can fit. It's not going to fit in it. A little bit of a malleable bowl. Will it go in? It would be really handy because it would take up a lot less space. Yes, stay there. Brilliant. I don't mind if the bowl gets split in this shape because it's a very, very cheap plastic bowl, and it is actually really handy for when I'm doing soil stuff. So there we go, that's in there. Just going to give this a little clear up, go give these a drink, and I'm going to set them up on the little planty trolley, and then that's me done for the day. And I think I should just go to bed with a book and get an early night. It's been a busy day. I will show you those before I go. Okay, I'm just starting to bring them all over, and I was thinking, will this be a bit too tall for that gap? It does actually fit, but I'm going to put it up on top instead and bring down a couple of the others. So just brought over some dishes and stuff, little bowls, in case they are needed. Will that fit in there? Probably not, but I think those three will fit fine on the top now. So I have a little planty top shelf, so that's really cool. I can always pull this out during the day, especially if when I'm here on my own, I can just pull this out and give it lots of extra light, so that's cool. But I actually think it will get quite a bit of light in there, especially as it's not gonna, they're not really living there forever. But yeah, they will get lots of natural light streaming in through the back door. I'm just going to put these up on my other funny little shelf there. Okay, so this big ficus can go up there. That way is best. Sorry, terrible filming. There we go. And that one at the front. This one, I think I need some sort of smaller thing to put it into, actually. There we go, that'll do for now. So that's just making use of the top of that space up there. And yeah, I feel really pleased with that actually, because it's making use of the space, and it's, yeah, I think it's really cool because it's, there we go. I feel really pleased with that actually, because let's not trap that in there. It's just making use of the space there, which is limited and a bit higgledy, so it's nice to have sort of rationalised that, and it's really good to have given this a bit of a clear out and overhaul. It'll be nice when those plants get off to their new home and make a bit more space again. But yeah, I'm really pleased with all of those little jobs, so hooray! Thank you for joining me for this kind of bitty and free fall kind of day. It's been really nice to just let it unfold naturally and just, yeah, follow on from task to task in a kind of organic way. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please like, share, follow, and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye.